self-transforming machine elves. First popularized by psychedelic bard Terence McKenna, who described entering a hyperdimensional elf realm where entities made of syntax and light greeted him with excitement. Terence described them as anything from shape-shifting elves made of vivid geometry to bejeweled self-dribbling basketballs. Sometimes they're also seen operating alien machinery and speaking impossible objects into existence with a visual language, saying, "Look at this, look at this." They might morph in front of your eyes, weave complex patterns, and telepathically communicate ideas. They are the archetypical DMT entity. Mantids, often described as tall, slender, and intensely observant. These creatures appear as humanoid insects with elongated limbs, sharp features, and enormous reflective eyes. Experiencers commonly report that mantids project an aura of scientific curiosity, behaving as cosmic surgeons or researchers conducting examinations within a hyperdimensional laboratory. Their actions often involve methodical interactions such as telepathically scanning minds, probing and inspecting bodies, or performing intricate energetic procedures. This detached but attentive manner leads to their nickname, the Mantis Doctors. Encounters with mantids typically evoke feelings of awe and curiosity, but also usually unease due to their alien nature and inscrutable intentions. Insect-like beings rarely appear in traditional human mythology, making these recurring encounters uniquely perplexing and adding to the mystery surrounding mantids in the DMT realm. Nature spirits and elementals. Beings of a primal nature often associated with one of the various elements. Many users, especially in ayahuasca, report encounters with spirits of plants and animals. They can also appear as fairy-like creatures, elves of the forest, or guardian spirits. Culturally, this aligns well with shamanic journeys where meeting ancestral guides or animal totems or spirits of the forest is common. These entities provide a sense of grounding and connection to earthly wisdom amid the chaos of the alien circus. Tricksters and jesters. So I have a full video on these guys, and if you haven't seen it already, you definitely need to check it out because these guys are a whole rabbit hole of their own. They truly resemble medieval jesters and harlequins. However, they're not silly or foolish in any way. They have a fundamentally different nature than what they're trying to show off. They're often flashing hyperspace tarot cards at you, which on their own can impart reams of information to you when you look at them. They're similar enough to the machine elves that you could say they're the same species. Only these guys tend to not be operating the machines. They have more of a clown appearance. Maybe they're on vacation. They can be mean and flip you off Joe Rogan style, or they can help you feel liberated and finally in on the cosmic joke. They're reminiscent of the trickster gods of mythology. And like I said, we see these guys everywhere. In every single ancient mythology, we have a trickster figure. We have clowns all over from Europe to North America. So if you want a full breakdown of the hyperdimensional insane clown posse and who these guys might be, you should watch that video, and I'm going to leave it in the description and at the end of this video. Reptilians. Some users find themselves transported into the vivid and bizarre realms of Lizard Land, where they encounter beings with distinctly reptilian features. Encounters can range from relatively benign or maybe even positive interactions, where individuals feel an odd sense of connection or curiosity in the strange land, to deeply unsettling experiences characterized by cold, intrusive behaviors. Reports sometimes describe acts of experimentation or worse, emphasizing the detached, cold, and perhaps evil nature of some of these alien beings, which are somewhat reminiscent of reptilians featured in popular conspiracy theories. They're the type of entities you might be intrigued to hear about, but definitely wouldn't want to stumble upon in your own psychedelic adventure. Light beings and angelic guides. Many travelers describe meeting beings made purely of light or energy, often appearing as humanoid silhouettes, glowing orbs, or winged angel-like forms. These entities feel incredibly benevolent. Encountering them can be accompanied by a rush of overwhelming love and acceptance or cosmic unity. They might communicate telepathically, impart calming messages, or profound insights about life and consciousness. Some report that these light beings serve as guides or protectors in the DMT realm, healing emotional wounds or answering personal questions without any words. They're usually compared to angels, spirit guides, or even manifestations of the higher self. Shadow entities, also commonly referred to as shadow people or dark entities. They appear as a dark humanoid silhouette, often devoid of distinct features beyond their general form. They are basically the opposite of light beings. Witnesses describe these as semi-transparent or solid black figures, sometimes cloaked or hooded, lurking at the edge of perception. They're frequently experienced as silently watching, moving swiftly across peripheral vision, or standing motionless, exuding an unsettling or ominous presence. The Hat Man counts as one of these guys, and it's not a good idea to think too much about them, study them, want to meet them, etc., because merely speaking or fantasizing about these evil entities may attract them into your trip. Sorry about that. The Purple Lady. Often recognized as a powerful representation of the divine feminine, this entity frequently appears in DMT visions as an ethereal woman bathed in rich shades of purple, magenta, or violet. She typically manifests as a radiant goddess, wise elder, a nurturing maternal presence emanating warmth, compassion, and profound wisdom, or a sexy purple lady. Those encountering her often describe an atmosphere of deep emotional healing and clarity. She may gently guide experiencers through unresolved traumas, illuminate destructive patterns, or communicate universal truths with unconditional love, creating an intense sense of emotional intimacy and spiritual connection. The Purple Lady's presence consistently leaves experiencers feeling comforted, deeply understood, and spiritually uplifted, marking the encounter as one of the most significant aspects of their journey into the DMT realm. Gods and goddesses. These beings actually resemble various cultural archetypal godheads. There's Hindu, Egyptian, Mayan, Celtic, and many other recognizable and perhaps unrecognizable types. They tend to be more sci-fi than you would imagine from only reading sacred books. They're capable of taking a keen interest in you, and they don't usually judge you, but rather have a kind of infinite compassion. There's usually a sense of wisdom and divinity that comes from these entities, although you can't always count on that. They are of different temperaments and personalities, and it's rare to see more than one of them on any given journey. Cosmic serpents. One of the most ancient and universal symbols across cultures is the serpent, and many DMT users report encountering snake-like entities that seem to embody wisdom, transformation, or cosmic knowledge. These serpents may coil around the user, transmit telepathic messages, or even fuse with their consciousness. Some experiencers connect them to the many serpent gods of mythology, from the Aztec Quetzalcoatl to the Egyptian flying serpent to the dragons of China. These guys are really all over ancient mythology, and the idea of a cosmic serpent seeding life on Earth seems to be a prominent one. Others believe these beings are linked to DNA itself, as the double helix shape of DNA holds an ancient connection to serpent symbolism, while others believe that it's also connected to the Kundalini energy rising through the spine, an ancient system for spiritual awakening. There also seem to be some connections to the forbidden fruit and the serpent in the garden, and this one really goes deep. So if you guys want a full breakdown of the cosmic serpents, check out this video. You can also check out my video on the jesters and subscribe for more videos in the future.